Good morning and welcome to our devotion today at Sunderland Elim. We're continuing with our series about Simon Peter. Last week we'd looked at how John the Baptist had preached, how Andrew had listened, how John the Baptist pointed towards Jesus, and how Andrew had followed and found Jesus. And it was actually Andrew that then led Simon to Jesus, where the encounter happened, where Jesus said he was going to be called Peter, and that's how he became known as Simon Peter. From then, they got to know each other better. We know from Luke chapter 4 that Jesus stayed at Simon's house. Jesus healed his mother-in-law. You know, those were days before there was medication and antibiotics and painkillers. This was something new that Peter was seeing here. Word began to spread around Capernaum and others started to gather. Peter's house became a bit of a gathering place. People wanted to hear the message that this new teacher had. They wanted hope. People came for healing. This was all something new, miracles happening. And this is where we are, where we're at the beginning of Luke 5, where Jesus is teaching. People were gathering and Jesus is teaching, and he's on the shoreline. And as the crowds gather, he turns and he sees the boats and he asks Simon to just take him a little way off the shore so that Jesus can teach from a boat. Now I think that's just think of it. Here we have a dirty, smelly, stinking fishing boat, but it's just become the stage for the Son of God. When Jesus has finished teaching, he says to Simon, "Put out into deeper water and let down your nets for a catch." Now Simon answers, "Master, we've worked hard all night and we haven't caught anything." Now if that was me or you, I think we might be a bit rankled, because here we have an amateur telling an expert kind of how to do the job. You know, Peter and Andrew and the others, this was their livelihood, it was their business. They were experts at fishing. They understood the currents, they understood and they were able to discern where the shoals of fish would be. If they'd been out all night, why would you listen to an amateur? But Simon does listen. He listens to Jesus and he obeys. And what follows is a miracle. In verse 6 we read, "When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break." Wow, what a miracle had occurred here. But you know, this is a vision of what Peter's life was going to become. You see, Peter was an empty net. But Peter was going to be filled with a spiritual power to the extent that he would speak to thousands of people at Pentecost. He would go on and he would lead the early church. He would write 2 books that we find in our Bible today. And I just want to ask you, what's your empty net? Is this something that Jesus is asking of you? Are we going to obey? Are we going to give our empty net to Jesus so that he can fill it? That he can do a miracle and take us places we can't even imagine now? Because I just want us to remember something. Yes, Peter was an expert. Peter knew the sea, but God made the sea.